Welcome to Manila Updates TV. Subscribe and press the bell icon for more updates. The year is 2026. A new dawn breaks over the world, but in Asia, the sun rises on uncertainty and unease. The Indo-Pacific has become a stage of rising tension, stretching from the East China Sea in the north to the South China Sea in the south. This vast expanse of ocean is now a chessboard for global powers, each move watched with bated breath. China, once advancing with seemingly unstoppable force, now finds itself facing a dilemma on two critical fronts. Its ambitions, once unchallenged, are now met with growing resistance. To the north, Japan stands resolute over the Senkaku Islands, a flashpoint for sovereignty and national pride. Japanese patrols are more frequent, their resolve unmistakable. To the south, the Philippines refuses to yield in the contested reefs and shoals of the South China Sea. Filipino fishermen and Navy ships continue to assert their rights undeterred by intimidation. These are not isolated incidents but connected threads in a larger geopolitical tapestry. Each confrontation echoes across the region, amplifying the stakes. Beijing's actions in one sea now directly influence reactions in the other, creating a feedback loop of resistance and escalation. The region is caught in a cycle where every move is scrutinized, every response calculated. By applying relentless pressure, China has awakened a new sense of resolve in its neighbors. Public sentiment in both Japan and the Philippines has hardened, fueling calls for stronger defense and unity. Japan and the Philippines, though acting separately, are now part of a shared narrative. Their leaders coordinate more closely, recognizing that their struggles are intertwined. Their experiences with Chinese Coast Guard vessels and diplomatic intimidation have forged a common understanding. Acquiescence only invites more pressure. The lesson is clear. Unity and resolve are their strongest shields. They are developing new tactics, strengthening partnerships, and changing the region's strategic calculus. Joint exercises and defense agreements are now routine, signaling a new era of cooperation. The world is watching closely, as these contested waters are vital arteries of global commerce. Disruption here would ripple across economies, affecting millions far beyond Asia. The unfolding drama is more than a territorial dispute. It's a test of international norms and maritime freedom. The rules that govern the seas are being challenged, and the outcome will set precedents for decades. China's two-front dilemma is a story that will shape the course of this century. The choices made now will echo through history, influencing alliances, strategies, and the balance of power. The dragon's advance is no longer unopposed. The region stands at a crossroads, and the world holds its breath, waiting to see what comes next. China now faces a growing strategic headache. To the north, Japan holds the East China Sea front. To the south, the Philippines holds the South China Sea front. Beijing once believed it could manage these disputes separately, but that strategy is failing. There's no formal alliance between Tokyo and Manila, just convergent resistance. Both nations have independently concluded that China's ambitions threaten their sovereignty. This shared experience has created a de facto alignment of purpose. China can no longer focus its resources on a single point of pressure. Actions against the Philippines are watched closely in Tokyo, and vice versa. This simultaneous challenge drains China's resources and complicates its decisions. Aggression in one area strengthens resolve and support in the other. China's actions have encouraged its neighbors to learn from and support each other. Instead of isolating its rivals, China now faces a more unified resistance. The East and South China Seas have become an echo chamber, where every move echoes far beyond its origin. Actions in one area reverberate instantly in the other, amplifying concerns, hardening resolve, and fueling a cycle of vigilance. When a Chinese Coast Guard vessel uses a water cannon against a Philippine boat, Tokyo takes note, recognizing the implications for its own security. Japan and the Philippines are learning from each other's encounters in real time, sharing intelligence and strategies to adapt quickly. The Philippines has pioneered transparency, releasing videos of Chinese harassment to shape the international narrative and rally global support. Japan, traditionally more reserved, is adopting similar methods to highlight constant pressure, using media to draw attention to ongoing challenges. Japan's steadfastness provides Manila with a model for long-term resilience, showing that persistence and unity can counter external pressure. This dynamic creates a virtuous cycle. The Philippines' boldness encourages Japan, and Japan's resilience inspires Manila, strengthening their partnership. Beijing sought to isolate its targets, but instead created a community of resistance, inadvertently forging stronger ties among its neighbors. The struggles of one nation now give strength to the other, as each learns from shared experiences and adapts to new challenges. The echo chamber ensures neither Japan nor the Philippines feels alone, reinforcing their determination to stand together. Their informal synergy is Beijing's unexpected challenge, a united front that continues to grow stronger with every test. Geography is the silent actor in this unfolding drama, shaping the destinies of nations without uttering a word. The vast expanse of the Pacific, dotted with islands and archipelagos, forms natural barriers and corridors that influence every strategic calculation in the region. China, a continental power with ambitions beyond its shores, is hemmed in by the first island chain, a formidable series of archipelagos stretching from Japan through Taiwan, all the way down to the Philippines. This chain acts as a maritime fence, limiting China's direct access to the wider Pacific. For China's navy to reach the open Pacific and project its influence further, it must navigate through narrow straits, many of which are controlled or closely monitored by its wary neighbors. These choke points are both strategic opportunities and vulnerabilities. The Senkaku Islands, perched at a critical juncture in the north, are more than just rocks. They are vital for Japan's security and a flashpoint for regional tensions. If China were to control the Senkakus, it could project power deep into the East China Sea, threatening Japan's sea lanes and shifting the balance of power. Further south, the Philippines anchors the chain, standing guard over the South China Sea, a vital maritime crossroads and the gateway to the Indian Ocean, through which trillions of dollars in trade flow each year. Disputed features like Scarborough Shoal lie within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, making them flashpoints for confrontation and symbols of national sovereignty. For China, controlling the South China Sea is about more than resources. It's about breaking out of the first island chain, gaining strategic depth, and asserting dominance in the region. Japan and the Philippines, as the chain's vigilant gatekeepers, are defending not just isolated islands but their entire maritime existence and the freedom of navigation for all. Geography has placed them on the front lines where every reef and strait can become a battleground for influence and survival. Their shared predicament now fuels shared resistance, forging new alliances and cooperation in the face of mounting pressure. China's strategy is clever and deliberately ambiguous, operating in the gray zone between peace and war. The China Coast Guard, backed by a maritime militia, is the primary tool, not the navy. Around the Senkaku Islands, Chinese vessels intrude daily, aiming to wear down Japan's resolve. In the South China Sea, tactics are more aggressive water cannons, dangerous maneuvers, and blockades against Philippine vessels. The goal is to assert control without direct military conflict. This campaign of coercion and intimidation makes it hard for others to respond without escalating. China's calculated ambiguity has been its strength, but also its weakness. The persistent harassment has given Japan and the Philippines time to adapt and innovate. They are finding new ways to push back. The gray zone is no longer China's uncontested domain. Japan's response has been a masterclass in quiet resilience. The Japan Coast Guard shadows Chinese vessels daily, preventing landings and harassment. Japan's strategy is presence and professionalism, meeting gray zone tactics with its own. Tokyo is strengthening its military, reinterpreting its constitution, and increasing its defense budget. It's investing in new ships, missiles, and surveillance, signaling deterrence, not aggression. Diplomatically, Japan champions a free and open Indo-Pacific and deepens alliances, especially with the US. It's building security partnerships with Australia, India, and the Philippines, providing patrol vessels and training. This multi-layered approach makes Japan a formidable obstacle. Japan's resilience anchors regional stability and inspires others. The Northern Front is holding strong. Japan's resolve is unwavering. The Philippines has chosen radical transparency to counter China's power. Under President Marcos Jr., Manila documents every Chinese harassment with high-definition cameras. Videos and photos are released to the world within hours, shattering ambiguity. The world now sees China's coercive behavior, damaging Beijing's reputation and galvanizing support for Manila. This transparency builds legitimacy for the Philippines and frames it as the responsible actor. The 2016 Arbitral Tribunal ruling reinforces its position. Clear evidence has strengthened partnerships with the US, Japan, and Australia. Joint patrols and military exercises are more frequent. The Philippines has turned the Southern Front into a global symbol of resistance. The most significant development is the convergence of the two fronts. What were once separate disputes are now seen as two theaters in a single strategic challenge. China's use of the same gray zone tactics in both seas has made the connection clear. This mental convergence leads to practical cooperation. Japan provides vessels, radar, and training to the Philippines. A stronger Philippines secures Japan's position in the north, and vice versa. The standoff around the Senkakus ties down Chinese resources that can't be used in the south. Japan's resilience provides Manila with a model for long-term resistance. China cannot escalate in one area without risking a coordinated response in the other. The two fronts now reinforce each other, creating a web of resistance. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. China's two-front dilemma is now a permanent feature of the Indo-Pacific. The geography of the first island chain and the national interests of Japan and the Philippines are unchanging. Years of Chinese pressure have only hardened their resolve. Beijing miscalculated, underestimating nationalism, democratic resilience, and international law. The Philippines' transparency campaign has exposed China's actions to global scrutiny. Japan's quiet resilience and the Philippines' vocal transparency are mutually reinforcing. Their growing security cooperation, backed by the US and partners like Australia, forms a formidable barrier. China faces an institutional challenge. New alliances and partnerships are reshaping the region's security architecture. To back down would mean a loss of face. To escalate risks wider conflict. The most likely outcome is a tense, grinding status quo. China is no longer pushing against isolated actors, but a networked, resilient front. The strategic environment has fundamentally shifted. The dragon's advance has been checked.